Instructor Jon here. In this video, I would like to share some strategies for learning English as a second language. None of these approaches requires an instructor. Self-learning requires discipline. Self-study is very effective when done correctly. It allows students to progress at their own pace and to choose subject matter that interests them, which in return will keep them engaged in learning. Self-taught students develop other skills in addition to learning English. Students learn the valuable skills including the ability to organize, solve problems, the ability to self-motivate, achieve goals, and to persevere when running into obstacles. The student has responsibility for and control over their own learning. Self-instruction also boosts self-esteem. The quickest way to learn English is to read, write, and think in English as often as possible. Learning to identify a personal learning style leads to discovering methods and techniques that can be useful in reaching English learning goals. Some students prefer to learn in a group setting through discussions. Solitary learners prefer to learn in a quiet environment. Visual learners learn most effectively through viewing images. Auditory learners learn best by listening. Verbal learners prefer to use reading, writing, and speaking tools. Some students learn through physical activities. Logical learners like to learn a new language by receiving instruction through clear steps and through pattern recognition. Reading-writing individuals like reviewing written materials, taking notes, or writing about their thoughts. As an instructor, I work to find the learning style of each student and plan lessons accordingly. I always try to incorporate multiple learning styles into every educational plan. So what's the role that I play as an instructor? As an instructor, it's my job to plan, develop, and provide learning materials with proper content and context for each student. I construct a curriculum in a logical, step-by-step manner to reach each student's goals. A curriculum needs to be structured in a way that considers the time constraint, if there is a time limit that must be met, and the student's goals. As an instructor, I monitor progress and provide feedback. I help with pronunciation, grammar, and developing conversational skills. I'm here to coach students. An individual may work with a personal trainer at a gym one day a week, but the individual must continue training every day when no one is instructing or little progress will be made. I guide the learning experience and play a supportive role, and I'm here to answer questions. There are many ways to learn a new language, and I have a variety of tools in my toolbox. I try to match my tools to the learning style and needs of each student. I'm going to share some of the tools in my toolbox and show how they can be used. These tools are effective by helping the student to identify their learning style and monitor their progress when learning a new language. The student can begin utilizing and adapting them as appropriate. We'll discuss each tool briefly. Resources that can be used as tools include translators, foreign language dictionaries, websites, and applications. Anything that can be used to understand and further a learning journey is a legitimate tool. Textbooks lead to a better comprehension of material than reading online using a computer, a cell phone, or a tablet. Students read at a slower pace when reading from a printed textbook. Thus, information is absorbed more effectively. Textbooks are organized in a plan, organized, and logical sequence. Main concepts and important elements are cued by chapter titles and headings. Finally, sections serve as building blocks. Establishing a strong foundation and then developing it allows the student to achieve a working knowledge of English so they are both confident and comfortable in using the new language. I have shared 3 books that I personally like to use. Writing instructions are an important learning exercise when learning a new language. Reading and listening are important skills. However, improving writing skills advances reading skills and offers many more benefits. First, students have to think about what they're trying to communicate. Understanding grammar is essential to communicating clearly. When writing, students need to put themselves in the place of the reader. By writing clear, precise, and simple sentences, a better command of the English language is achieved. A student learns to break down a larger task into a series of steps and organize the instructions to reach the desired outcome. Vocabulary is built when new and alternative words are utilized. Also, to improve written instruction requires proofreading, editing, and the self-discipline to rewrite and revise without self-criticism. Immersion reading is a powerful and effective way to learn English. Immersion allows the student to acquire the English language naturally by reading and listening simultaneously. Students retain information better when reading and listening. Reading itself allows access to valuable knowledge and improves focus and memory, provides entertainment, and reduces stress. With immersion reading, you're able to hear English being spoken and to learn the words. Listening to text while using headphones decreases distractions and increases focus. Choosing a high-quality text-to-speech program will greatly improve your speaking, writing, and comprehension of the English language. Keeping a language journal makes learning easier. Writing and analyzing what one has learned can identify common language errors. Students should compare the grammar in the old language to English. This means looking for rules that are the same in both languages and rules that differ. Journaling a diary helps with memorization of new words and grammar rules. We remember better when we see it written down as opposed to only listening. A diary will keep track of what has been learned. A language journal also improves self-discipline and identifies areas that may have been missed or avoided. A student can create and track goals and use it to review and strengthen what he or she has already learned. They should write each journal entry at their own level to reinforce what has been learned. Dialogue writing is fun. Dialogue writing is creative writing where characters in a defined setting speak. It is one of the few times when grammatical rules can be broken and expressed more creatively. Characters take on a life of their own. Dialogue makes writing more immersive. A new voice is heard. With dialogue, live persons are seen as to how they interrelate to each other and their settings and the plot. Suggestions for writing good dialogue can be found on many internet sites. Dialogue writing improves communication skills and encourages students to focus on language in a way that promotes correct usage. It gives students a chance to practice new idioms and expressions. Each character should have a unique speech pattern with its own unique thoughts, own emotions, and their own opinions. Games provide a fun and comfortable environment in which learners are motivated to take risks and not be afraid of making mistakes. Games teach children appropriate social interactions, colors, numbers, strategy, logical thinking skills, vocabulary, reasoning strategies, and how to follow rules. They provide opportunities to speak, listen, and write, and increase the motivation to learn by creating a fun component to learning the new language. Games encourage attentiveness and problem-solving skills. In addition, they build memories and teach strategies based upon what decisions were made and which resulted both in positive and negative outcomes. Games can be board games, can be card games, apps, or online games. I encourage dialogue-based games and games that require solving problems. Online translators Translation pens and portable translator devices can play an important part in learning a new language. In particular, pocket translators allow for accurate two-way communication in real time. Portable translators can be easily transported and be kept in a pocket or on a lanyard. Translating between languages can reveal similarities and differences, such as word order. Translators can teach new vocabulary and demonstrate how the same message can be communicated in different ways. Translators will also train students how to switch between their native language and the new language. As with all tools, practice is required. Translators have varying degrees of accuracy, so it's important to work with a language instructor. Translating is not replicating words word for word, rather it's translating the original thought. When learning English, there are several free online dictionaries and available apps that can be used as tools. Oxford Advanced Learner's Dictionary is very good because definitions are provided using simple words. The Cambridge Learner's Dictionary has words and phrases that intermediate learners of English need to know. These are clear, simple definitions with audio pronunciations. In addition, there are thousands of carefully chosen example sentences. A reverse dictionary is a word finder that helps find a word whose definition is known, but the student is unable to recall the word. Simply type the meaning, and the reverse dictionary produces words that most likely match the definition. With modern computers, the reverse dictionary looks through many dictionaries looking for definitions closely matching a search. Using a reverse dictionary can greatly improve writing. Entering a search will give a long list of synonyms, words that have an exact or similar meaning, thus improving and expanding vocabulary. Learning English while watching movies and television shows is a great way to learn English. Many shows and movies are a reflection of real life. Hearing English in a real situation improves both listening and speaking skills. In the beginning, using subtitles may be beneficial, but then you need to re-watch the movie or show without the subtitles. Watching a movie or a show only once will not be of much help. Repeating lines from the show out loud will allow you to master new words and phrases. Many media video players support watching a foreign film in the student's mother tongue with English subtitles. Take advantage of the pause and rewind functions. Watching English media using English subtitles has its place, as well as watching an English film with subtitles in the student's native language. Experiment and find out what works best for that student. Whereas a game is a pastime with a specific set of rules in which two or more players compete against one another, a puzzle is a solitary challenge where the puzzle solver is competing against the puzzle maker. A puzzle tests a person's ingenuity and knowledge. A puzzle has a solution, a game has an end. Many word puzzles can be found in books, newspapers, online, and in apps. Seek out those that are enjoyable and use them as a pastime. The use of crossword puzzles in learning English as a second language is an effective way of building vocabulary. In a crossword puzzle, each clue is a word puzzle. Each clue answer is entered into a crossword diagram that usually takes the form of a square or a rectangular grid of white and black shaded squares. The goal is to fill in all the white squares with letters, forming words and phrases that cross one another. Word search is a game composed of the letters of words arranged in a grid. The goal is to find and highlight all of the words hidden in the puzzle. For each word search, a list of words is presented. The words may be placed diagonally, horizontally, vertically, backwards. Word searches increase memory. It expands and improves vocabulary and strengthens spelling proficiency. Word puzzle is found on dictionary.com. The The challenge in this puzzle is to discover how many words can be formed using only 8 letters. In jumble, a picture is presented as a riddle. To solve the riddle, scrambled words must be unscrambled. From each unscrambled word, a letter falls in a circle. The circled letters are then unscrambled to find the answer to the given riddle. Story cubes are a set of 9 dice with pictures on each side. The dice are rolled to create a story. The challenge is for the student to create a story that includes all the pictures that were rolled. Listening to music in English enhances language comprehension, improves listening skills, increases vocabulary, and helps pronunciation. In addition, memory and focusing skills will also improve. With repetition, we begin to remember the rhythm of a song and then the lyrics. We can remember songs we haven't heard for years. After a memorable song is found, find and print the lyrics. The sounds heard will be associated with the lyrics. The best English songs are catchy and will be remembered for days. English song languages often use slang words and phrases instead of standard English, which allows learning common phrases used by native speakers. Many popular songs will have lyric videos on YouTube so that words can be read while listening. Song text can also be printed and then followed along while listening. There are many ways to learn English. Finding the right combination of tools that works best for the student is important. It is important not to rely on just one tool when learning a new language. The tools I have shared above are not all-inclusive, but rather some of the tools in my toolbox which are available when working with students. If the tool selected is not being effective, I don't continue to use it, and then try a different tool. I find tools that will work best for the students and will help guide them in learning English as a new language.